rambling, but I did. Call this meeting to order, determine there's a quorum. Commissioner Wardlaw, Commissioner Vasquez, Commissioner Nettleton, Commissioner Flores, and myself, we have a quorum. Y'all will please rise. Pledge of allegiance. Commissioner Nettleton, if you just do honors, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Previous minutes, there are none. Citizens' comments, I have one, Ms. Fuentes. A little gingerly getting up. My finger back.
But I'm here.
Right, that's what counts.
Over there, I'm here. Good morning, Judge Owens and Commissioner. My name is Sandra Fuentes, co-chair of the board session, but I'm here also to speak as an co-chair of the 2020 Census Committee. So I want to address the item number 20 on the agenda. I strongly believe that Guadalupe County, City of El Rio did not lose 3% of its population from 10 years ago. So in doing some research, that just didn't sit well with me. Ramiro Guzman called me up and he said, there's a way where counties are challenged with the census results. So I did a little bit of research, contacted with the census.
Let's do this. If you don't mind, we'll get out of citizens' comments. We'll go to item 20. And that way, in case the commissioners want to go ahead and visit while you're talking, we'll go and do that. That work?
That'll work.
That work?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to go ahead at this time and get out of citizens' comments and go to item 20. Discussion possible action on contesting the 2020 census and requesting the City of Del Rio to participate with Alberta County. Ms. Fuentes.
So that I am just here to encourage the court to vote in the positive, to at least investigate to see if it would be, improve us, challenge it. Hopefully that's not a lot of money that it would take. I think that Mr. Nelson is looking into it. He did speak with the representative from the 2020 census, the federal level, and I think he sent him a website to what needs to happen, and I believe Judge has reached out to the City of Del Rio. So hopefully I am just asking the court to please entertain the possibility of at least looking into it, that we might possibly challenge. We have a lot to gain if we can prove that, that 50,000.
Well, and I think, visiting Commissioner Nettleton, who was visiting with you, 2 weeks ago at the meeting, 2 weeks ago, y'all brought it and said that y'all were working on it. At that point, I sent John Sheedy a text asking if the city would participate. He did send a text back that he would bring it to council. And I visited with him this morning, told him about the items that we had on the agenda that might be part of the city. And he said, please let me know what is it that y'all are fixing to do. And I will bring it to council. Can't commit to anything, but I believe it's a worthy cause. It was a conversation I had with him this morning. I did tell him a little bit in the conversations that me and Commissioner Nettleton had was that I don't know how you develop 1,500 acres outside, at least 1,500 acres outside the city limits, and then go backwards.
Yeah.
We had Agua Vista even that had not sold hardly any lots, and now you go out there and that subdivision was already there. But now you look at it and there's a lot more development in the last 5 years, 6 years.
And let's not forget the growth in Moreno Valley.
And then, again, I mean, you figure off of Margarita, there's been at least 3 or 4 different, subdivisions that are 30 to 50 lot subdivisions there. You have the development by Burke, Vaughn, David Breeden. Those are the ones that usually do the development within inside the city limits or get annexed by the city. All those developments, I mean, I don't understand again how we can lose population and have so much development.
I forget the gentleman's name from the census. He said, because we're trying to pin him as to how much would it cost. He says, it's not going to be that much. It's going to take a lot of the time. It's very, it's going to GIS, I think you said, we need a GIS, but you said we have to in the city estimate. Thank you.
Yeah, what I'm proposing is they say we can do some spot samples. So we would get Carlos and maybe the people from the city to go in and take the census blocks, figure out the population that they calculated in the census, then count the homes and do the average population per household, which I think is 3.15 or something like that. And check those census blocks against what the census actually showed before we go out and decide if we want to spend the money to hire people to go door to door to actually do a census to see how accurate those census blocks are. So I would propose that we start there. If Carlos and the city engineer can work together through their GIS to set those census blocks up and start looking at those numbers to see what we're off on, then we can protest. And there's a whole process, and there's a website in here that you go to go through the process to protest. But I would like us to at least look at comparing the census blocks house by house versus what the census says is in that block. Because we can pull up a map and just count the houses in that block, and we should get a pretty good idea where we're at. So I'll make a motion to authorize the judge to work with Carlos and the city of Del Rio to do a spot census through GIS and bring us back those results. Then we can make a decision if we want to proceed with going to the full-blown part, which would actually require probably door-to-door.
Motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second.
Second, Judge.
Second, Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? Anybody against? Motion passes, 5-0 vote. Yeah. You switched seats. I looked up, she moved over. Item 6, approving monthly report from elected officials.
Second.
Motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second, Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? 5-0 vote. Item 7, approving bills for payment.
Second.
Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second, Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? 5-0 vote. Auditor's report.
Second.
I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second, Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? 5-0 vote. Budget adjustment, item number 9, hire individuals to run the battered woman shelter. They're in here they're in here further down. We do have funds. We do have funds in the line item for the battered woman shelter. And then I spoke with Mr. Sheedy a little while ago also from the city, because they give us funds also to help provide funds for the battered woman shelter for the contract. So I asked him if he would go ahead and look at the contract, and then I'll look at what we've got, and maybe if we need to do another MOU depending on which way we're running, and asked him if the bottom line is if they would continue. He said he didn't see a problem with it, but he would take them back before council.
So we need to take action to create the position.
Okay, we're gonna do that, and more than likely, probably gonna run a little bit higher than what was budgeted, simply due to employment costs.
Yeah.
So, just later in the year, we'll come back into the budget adjustment to increase that.
How many people are we adding?
6.
6? I will make a motion to do an amendment to the budget to add 6 employees under a department for the battered women shelter, and to set those salaries at what they're currently making, than what we're doing.
And they're later on in the HR's report.
I'll second that.
Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second, Commissioner Flores. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? 5-0 vote. Thank y'all. Treasurer's report, don't have one. I think we're good. 11, and if you'll notice, I took out immigrants. I just didn't want to talk about them anymore. It's not on here. I hope we get to a point where we can eliminate COVID also. I will tell y'all that, well, let's go. Item 11, discussion matters relating to COVID-19. I will tell you that the low voter turnout also, in my opinion, had a lot to do with COVID-19. I know that a lot of the elected officials, not just to talk about politics, but a lot of the elected officials walked streets, tried to get people out to come out to vote. I had one of the candidates, Jesse James, said that if he had 20% of the people that he went to the doors, if they opened them, the 20% was too high. And you could tell people were there, they just were not opening the doors. So I think it's affecting all our lives. People are not coming out, they're still scared. I will tell you though that with the, if you'll look, we're back online for the bull riding, the rodeo, the George Paul, the rodeo in July. There's even more events here in our agenda that are fixing to happen at the fairgrounds. We have the Miss Valverde pageant coming up. We have all the other pageants are also fixing to come up. I think we're trying to get back to some type of normal. I know that there was clinics in Precinct 1, Precinct 2, and Precinct 4. I think we're going to try to do some testing in Precinct 3. We did order, I think, 3,000. We did a star request for another 3,000 vaccines to try to get those out for individuals that might want them. We did get paid the money that was owed to us by the consulate. We did end up with those funds, and we'll need to sort of bring those in at some point. They paid with $239 on a credit card, $3,000 from something else, and everything. But it was just it was a list of stuff. They did end up paying the balance, but it was they put it all together. They are asking for us to help them again. The problem with that is, and I know I'm just rambling, but just so y'all know that the problem with that is that the guards will not help us on the bridge again. And the conversations that we've had to them is that we don't want to charge them, but if we're going to incur a cost, then that cost will be passed on. So that's where we're at right now. I know that 2 meetings ago, Commissioner Flores had said, had brought up the deal about the vaccines. So if y'all need to come up again and want to do that again or whatever, just let us know any of the precincts and we'll try to schedule. Well, we won't try. We will schedule that in. All right.
Are they not doing vaccines in Mexico at all? I mean, I don't know.
They are. They just don't have enough. And they're at the beginning when they opened the port, the vaccines that they handed out. On this side, we weren't recognizing those as.
Or the ones they're wanting to do on the bridge, or they're not U.S. citizens, and they don't have visas or nothing.
No,
that's why we're
a lot
on
of
the
them.
bridge.
And we told them if we had the clinic at the Civic Center or at the mall or whatever, because even a lot of the vaccines that we're getting at the mall are individuals from Acuña. The majority of them have been individuals from Acuña. So.
Good. Is the state doing anything to help Acuña with
the federal government actually this week, I got an email that they are trying to set aside more vaccines for Mexico and stuff like that. But it's like everything else. It's,
we specify Acuña. That's where we need help.
Yeah. And like I say, we did a star request for another 3,000 vaccines. In order to be able to help, if we can get the individuals from Acuña over here, the booster shot for the individuals that Valverde County provided vaccines for on the bridge, their time for their booster shot is up right now. So we're trying to get them, trying to figure out some way to bring them across. And you're right. I mean, you figure. We have a lot of citizens that go from here over there to go work, and they're amongst people that might not have COVID vaccinated. Okay. Anybody have anything else on COVID? You need water? You got water? You good?
No, I'm fine.
No COVID?
that close to you. I'm vaccinated.
You're vaccinated.
I'm vaccinated.
We're good. All right. Item 12, discussion possible action on setting aside $20,000 from available appropriations for, not tracker, but tractor. Work on Alcoa Field. I know that y'all are down there working. I know Precinct 2's sent an individual. Precinct 3 has individuals down there also. I don't know if y'all are gonna have enough time to finish what's there. So I put this item on the agenda in case y'all don't have enough time.
I'm gonna finish the baseball field because I agreed to start that, but I don't have time to be blading all that. I went down and looked at that mess on the soccer fields, and that is just beyond anything that I have time to mess with. So
Okay. Do y'all wanna set this?
What is that situation, Commissioner?
it's a mess. All the stuff that was dumped in there to go in and blade it and put it back right is gonna take months. And it's gonna require additional materials and stuff, and I don't have time to set aside the employees to go do it.
So, Mr. Bo, you're pulling your gentlemen, your people out
We're
of
gonna
there?
finish the baseball field and get it ready for the contractors, but that's the extent of what I'm gonna do.
And I know that you have Lupa down there working
No,
also.
two gentlemen
And
out
that's like
there.
I'm saying,
Right,
it's just a lot.
right.
And I know that
And if
y'all have-
Mr. Bo pulls his people, then I'll get my people out. That way, we won't be able to do it alone, so.
No, that's what I'm saying. So, I mean,
Okay.
if y'all, and that's the reason I put this item on the agenda. We have, money in we set aside $500,000 for parks anyway. If y'all want to pull it out of that, out of the ARPA money or wherever y'all want to take it from.
I'll make a motion to authorize the judge to find a contractor to go blade that and take it out of the money set aside through HARP.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Vasquez. And again, I mean, I know everybody's trying, but everybody's got work,
Right.
okay? So I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Vasquez, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody against? 5-0 vote. Item 13, discussion possible action on setting aside $919 from available appropriations for court costs associated with the 6 acres that were awarded to Valverde County by other taxing entities, acres located adjacent to Laughlin Air Force Base and SC Ranch.
Motion.
Second.
Take it out of contingency. Commissioner Ward?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I have a motion, Commissioner Wardlaw, second Commissioner Nettleton. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody against? 5-0 vote. Item 14, discussion possible action on 2 cell phones to be used by individuals at the battered woman shelter. These individuals had, cell
Motion to
phones.
approve.
Second.
And take out of the budget we're setting up. We're gonna have to set up office and all that, aren't we? So
Yes.
We'll just take it out of that funding and then sort it out later, right?
Yeah, usually the cell phone just come out of one large
Okay.
account, so that's.
Okay. I have a motion out of that one large account. I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody against? 5-0 vote. Item 15, I need a motion to table.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion to table, second Commissioner Vasquez. Motion by Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody against? 5-0 vote. Item 16, discussion of possible action on approving proclamation for Valverde County Library to celebrate Library Week. Proclamation, everybody knows how much I hate reading, but I think it's important. Whereas libraries are accessible and inclusive places, libraries are accessible and inclusive places that foster a sense of connection and build community. Whereas libraries connect people to technology, providing access to broadband internet, computers, and training that are critical for accessing education and employment opportunities. Whereas libraries offer opportunities for everyone to connect with new ideas and become their best selves through access to multimedia content, programs, and classes, in addition to books. Whereas today's libraries and their services extend far beyond the 4 walls of a building, and everyone is welcome to use their resources. Whereas in times of crisis, libraries and library professionals play an invaluable role in support their communities, both in person and virtually. Whereas libraries strive to develop and maintain programs and collections that are as diverse as the populations they serve and ensure equity of access for all. Whereas to adapt to our changing world, libraries are expanding their resources and continuing to meet the needs of their patrons. Whereas libraries have long served as trusted and treasured institutes for all members of the community, regardless of race, ethnic, go ahead.
Ethnicity.
I appreciate that. Creed, ability, sexual orientation. Sandra Fuentes was back there helping right away. Right? She knew I messed up. Sexual orientation, gender identity, or socioeconomic status. Whereas libraries are cornerstones of democracy, promoting the free exchange of information and ideas for all. Whereas libraries, librarians, and library workers are joining library supporters and advocates across the nation to celebrate National Library Week. Now therefore, be it resolved that the Valverde County Commissioners Court proclaim National Library Week, April 3rd through the 9th, 2022. During this week, I encourage all residents to connect with their library by visiting online or in person to access resources and services. Mr. Bond?
I've got a question, Mr. Bond. We're in the process, or we already got the school that's over at Sunflake. Did we get that already, or have we not got those buildings?
The building on, in San Felipe on Chapoy, belongs to the county. The building on Broadbent also belongs to the county.
I would like to see us look at what it would take and cost to have some sort of auxiliary library over in those barrios for the people to have easier access to information. If you could put something together and bring it back to us so we can look at if it's feasible for us to afford doing something like that, since we have those buildings over there now.
And also just, both Commissioner Vasquez and Commissioner Wardlow, since they both lie in their precincts, had also said, something maybe with computer labs and stuff. Y'all had talked about that too for the kids.
That's what we're looking at.
Right? To set up some type of computer labs or something. I know that Commissioner Flores also had looked at, Garfield, right? Garfield, about trying to get Garfield. So, I mean, yeah, anything you can do for us, Mr. Bond.
Well, that sounds like a great idea, and I had talked a little bit with Mr. Wardlaw about this previously. So I'll try to get information and try to work out some kind of a plan for us to do that.
All right, thank you.
And Commissioner, the monies, like we have another chunk of change coming in from the federal government. I mean, there was some stuff on there for broadband, like for the.
Yeah, we can do some things with it. That's why we'd like to see what those costs are and if we can fit it into some of that ARPA stuff.
Jeff, can we do a photo of the, you with the librarian and the residents?
We can. The one that we have is sort of,
You can have a text.
It's all right.
I've got a piece of paper. You wanna come on up? Oh, let's take a vote on it real quick. We had a motion, Commissioner Nettleton. I had a second, Commissioner Wardlaw. All those in favor? Anybody against? 5-0 vote. Done. Where do you want us, Karen? Here?
Yeah.
You'll come around. Mr. Bond? What do you do?
No.
Y'all come around and we'll, there we go, and I'll just get you this, or a piece of paper. Come on in. There we go. Come on. That work? That's not right. You did take them down, right? Everybody's having fun except me.
Maybe. Yes, sir. Yeah, Mr. Bond.
It's been impressive, what our librarian has done. It really is. And now, I mean, even when we were going through COVID, I mean, we still tried to remain open. You know, there's people checking books in and out. They were dropping them off outside. They were being, you know, cleaned as best they could, sent back out. With the program that we have there now, I want to thank you, Mr. Bond. Thank you. They need more chairs. Joe Frank keeps getting up to get more chairs. Item 17, TDHCA, Cdbg, CV, Community Resilient Program, Sam Houston, and Cardwell School Application Scoring Results. Carl?
Thank you, Judge. Obviously, this would have quite a tie-in with the previous agenda item you always had. You may recall the county did submit 2 applications to actually rehabilitate both Sam Houston School and Cardwell School. The priority there, we directed it for sort of a senior citizen area for those communities there. We knew going into the application process it was going to be fiercely competitive. They had $141 million worth of applications, requests. There. They actually had $38 million in the pot to spend. They had 52 applications submitted. They had 10 applications disqualified and ended up at 42, and they funded 14. Unfortunately, the Albuquerque County's applications were out of the funding range. So we will be pursuing and visiting with the THCA to see if there is a subsequent opportunity to come about where maybe we can reapply and maybe address some of the issues that y'all discussed here just previously on the other agenda.
And maybe if we look at them, don't mind commissioners, maybe do this, if we can't get the whole amount, maybe if there's other places we can apply for, maybe phases, than trying to hit the ball just completely out of the park, or I don't know, Carl. I mean, it just, anything would help.
Where we were weak in the application, they were looking for, applications that were actually shovel ready to go out, put out for bid. They were looking for, complete plans, complete specs and that. So we were a little behind the curve in making that happen. But we kind of know now what they,
So would
what
you
they want.
recommend, Carl, to go ahead and try to get that done?
Yeah.
To try to move forward in case this comes up, we're not, trying to rush to get it done.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think that applies to a lot of projects coming up with infrastructure and stuff. We need to start looking at projects that we want to do and start coming up with designs and stuff so they're shovel-ready projects when the infrastructure bills and all those things come to fruition. We're actually able to compete on those levels.
Yeah, because the window on these funds, I think that, at the end of the day, they just have so much time to get them out, get them spent. And so they have a criteria to meet, and so the applications that are being submitted have to meet that same criteria. Yeah.
Do you need a motion, Judge?
No, we're good. It was just for information, but I think what we'll do, Commissioner Wardlaw, is we'll put an item on the agenda in 2 weeks, and maybe if y'all will come up with some of the projects that y'all would like to, like Commissioner Nettleton said, maybe we can get plans and get done that way. They're shovel-ready plans. Y'all will come up with sort of projects amongst the precincts, and then we'll start working on trying to get plans for those. And bottom line is just so we ain't everywhere. That way we sort of narrow it to 4, 5, 6 projects versus just trying to be everywhere. And at the end of the day, again, like you said, they're shovel-ready. We've already got the plans, and we've already done our estimates and stuff like that.
Got 2 weeks, Carlos.
Thanks, Carl.
Thank you, Judge.
Item 18, discussion possible action on guidelines on septic system, facilities assistance program using American Recovery Act funds.
I think we can use can't we use the same one that we do when we do those through Cdbg and those other, the same guidelines?
Yeah, actually, the guidelines that we have proposed this morning are sampled from the Texas Department of Agriculture, using the same criteria and format. We just updated it for the current situation. Yeah.
Okay. I'll make a motion to accept those as the guidelines.
Second.
A motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? Anybody against? 5-0 vote. Keep getting it along. Item 19, discussion possible action on establishing the members of the Sexual Assault Response Team in compliance with Section 351.252 of the Texas Local Government Code to include the following: Staff Clinic Director or Designee, 63rd Judicial District Attorney, which at this point is Suzanne West, or Designee, Daryl Chief of Police Frank Ramirez, or Designee, Valverde County Sheriff Joe Frank Martinez or designee, Stat Clinic, same nurse, Judy Morales or designee, Valverde Regional Medical Center CEO, Linda Walker or designee, Laughlin Air Force Base, SAPR, that's an acronym though, Tracy Cleveland or designee, San Felipe Del Rio Consolidated Independent School District Superintendent, Dr. Carlos Rios or designee, Baptist Children's Family Services, HHS, Claudia Lopez or designee, Texas Track, Casey Ward, Dr. Kim Zemanek or designee, Valverde County Attorney David E. Martinez or designee, Mexican Consulate, Paloma Villaseñor or designee, Guatemala Consulate, Randy Castillo. That don't even sound right, right? Guatemala Consulate, Randy, right? Or designee, Woman Shelter Director or designee.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second, Commissioner Vasquez. Again, on this one right here, real quick, I did speak with John Sheedy, this morning, and he said, after the meeting, if I would call in just to let him know what we've done and then how we would move forward. So everybody that's on the list, thank y'all, for accepting and if you don't, well, you're already on the list. So it's all good. So, I know that, David, part of this, if you don't mind, if you will sort of call them together, and move forward with this, and then if you'll include me in your emails, but if you don't mind, sort of put this together.
Sure.
Okay? All right. I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second, Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? 5-0 vote. Item 20, we've already done. Item 21, discussion and possible action on taking $38,000 out of contingency for Precinct 3 Lawn Memorial Park improvements.
I put this on here because in the last Commissioners Court meeting, we took $38,000 out of contingency to build a fence at the community center, which I don't agree with. And if we're going to allow one commissioner to have money out of contingency for projects, I think the rest of the commissioners should have the same opportunity. And that's why this is on here. I personally don't agree with taking money out of contingency. I agree that it should be managed out of your own budget. And for that reason, this was simply for a purpose of making a point. I will make a motion to deny.
Have a motion to deny the $38,000 out of contingency for Precinct 3 for Lawn Memorial Park improvements. Do I have a second?
Second. I'm gonna.
I have a second, Commissioner Flores. Yes, sir.
And for discussion there, there's a big difference here. The $38,000 that was taken for the community center. It's Valverde Community Center, it's not Precinct 4 Community Center. When I built the park behind the community center, all that money came out of Precinct 4 upgrading and capital money and stuff like that. Never out of contingency, not $1. There is a big difference there. This community center represents the whole county, not Precinct 4, but the whole county. So there's a big difference here on that money.
And the use of $38,000 for a $52,000 fence couldn't be better utilized for food distribution.
It could be used for a lot of things. At the end of the day, we need the fence. It's a beautiful building there, it represents all of us, not just me. So it makes a big difference. I mean, building a $20,000 fence compared to what it's needed there right now.
It's not a $20,000 fence.
Well, it's just what is needed there, you know, and the court agreed to it, so we need to respect that.
I'm not one to keep aggravating.
Not today?
But not today.
Not today.
The good thing is we continue to laugh, so it's all good. What I'm gonna say is that this court has been real generous, for all precincts. Since 2019, the members of the court in 2019 received $250,000 per precinct. Last month, the month before, another $500,000 out of tax night. And then last meeting, another $250,000 for parks. So that's $1 million per precinct that each precinct has received. This court, and I'm not saying me, but in my budget, I put in there to roll over FEMA money, which to the tune of, I think, right at $500,000 for y'all to be able to use for expenses in y'all's, in your own precincts. I know that Martin didn't get part of that because he'd already used the reimbursement during the year, but the other 3 precincts did receive money. Between all 3, I think it was like $500,000. So I was one of the ones that didn't vote on that fence for the simple reason that each precinct had received $1 million, and there was an area there to take out funds. And that's my whole spiel. I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, to deny. I have a second, Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? 5-0 vote. Item 22, discussion of possible action of approval for Valverde County to enter into 2 agreements with AEP for service of installing lights and poles on Milagro Lane. One agreement is an estimate cost of $1,663.14, and the other agreement is for $11,251.45. Both of them to come out of Precinct 4 operating budget and grant authority for county judge to sign both AEP CIAC agreements.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion, Commissioner Flores, second, Commissioner Wardlaw. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody against? 5-0 vote. Item 23, discussion of possible action on letter of determination of non-hazard to air navigation received from the Federal Aviation Administration Southwest Regional Office for the construction of 51 wind turbines in Comstock, Valverde County, Texas.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners.
Before we get started, Godless and Ram, they get really excited with electronic gadgets. So Godless would usually have to go run and give the USB to Stephen, and now he's actually hooked in wireless and is also hooked in to our internet and everything else. So they're all excited on the new process. Godless, you have 30 seconds.
Yeah. On July 28, 2021, the county received a notification from FAA that they were conducting an aeronautical study for the construction of 51 wind turbines that are 700 feet above ground. This is the location of the proposed wind farm. It's mostly on the north side of the county. The county replied to the FAA on a letter on the 31st day of August 2021, and we received last week a notification from FAA that there's a determination of no hazard to air navigation, so they will allow to build the 51 wind turbines, and that's why I'm bringing this to your attention.
I don't see how in the world they can consider that no hazard when that is the low flight area for Laughlin Air Force Base that flies at 500 feet through those patterns, and they're putting in 700-foot wind towers, and the federal government considers it not a hazard and does not jeopardize the mission of Laughlin Air Force Base.
That's why they're stating that there's no hazard.
Well, I can assure you, my ranch joins that one right there, and I see those jets come over at 400 or 500 feet all day. 700-foot towers is going to put that at risk substantially. I don't know what they use for their guidelines, but I consider it to be a humongous problem for the mission of Laughlin Air Force Base.
That was an attachment sent on the response letter. We'll put it in the location of the proposed development, and it will conflict.
No, it's going to conflict with Laughlin's flight patterns, and it's going to require them to have to make adjustments or not fly those patterns.
I just don't understand how the FAA can determine that result out of the information that was provided to them, but they did, and now we're stuck with this project.
Carlos, why does this item need our approval?
No, it
It's not
it doesn't need your approval. I asked them to put it on, that way y'all would understand, what we're dealing with in Valverde County.
So we can't vote against it.
We can vote against it, we can send another letter telling them that, just like we did the last time, that we believe that they're gonna encroach and they're going to, affect the flight pattern of Laughlin, which that we can do, but when, he got the information, I received the information, I asked him to put it on, that way the court would have knowledge of what, we're dealing with.
I second Commissioner Nettleton's motion.
My motion is that this is a encroachment and a flight risk for Laughlin Air Force Base, and, I believe will jeopardize their ability to perform their mission.
Okay, we'll send a letter to that effect. I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Wardlaw, all those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? 5-0 vote. Item 24, approval of High Lonesome Ranch North subdivision, 4,683.62 acres. Subdivision conveyed to High Lonesome Investments, LLC.
Carlos, by law, we have to accept this, right?
Yeah, it's out of the scope of the model subdivision rules because of the size of the tracts. Everything is more than 10 acres. This is proposed by High Lonesome Ranch, and it's located on precinct 3 on the north side of the county. They're accessing through a private road easement. There's a note that the county is not responsible of accepting and obligating or maintaining any roads, and there's also a note that the county is not responsible of maintaining the road to get to the subdivision, to lock or unlock any gate or attend any encumbrance along the road. The smallest tract is 37.64 acres. The largest one is 134, and we're talking about 62 lots. And they're all creating private roads, 60 feet wide. And this subdivision lies outside of Amistad land use, and because of the size of the tracts, it's outside of model subdivision rules.
So we cannot turn this development down?
No. Motion to approve.
I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, do I have a second?
Second?
Second, Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor?
All right.
Anybody against? 5-0 vote. Item 25, discussion. Thank you, Congress. Item 25, discussion possible action to award or reject bid 22.02 to the lowest bidder for the community center fence project in precinct 4. Funds for the project will be expensed from insurance monies and remaining balance from contingency as per court approval on February 15th, 2022. The reason this is back on the agenda, I wasn't paying attention, and we never did take a vote to accept the bid. So that's why this is here. We need to accept the bid.
The lowest bidder was Rodriguez Fencing.
Motion to reject.
I have a motion by Commissioner Nettleton to reject. Do I have a second? No second. Motion fails.
Motion to award to lowest bidder.
I have a motion, Commissioner Flores.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Wardlaw. All those in favor?
Aye.
I mean, Devin? Aye. All those against?
Aye.
3-2 vote. Motion does pass. Item 26, discussion possible action on selecting a financial advisor firm from the RFQ evaluation scoring sheet provided.
There is only one proposal that we got in, and that was from PFM Financial Advisors.
And these people work for, school, I understand, right? Also, financial advisor for the school, and they had a pretty nice resume.
Motion to select, what was it?
PFM Financial.
Financial advisor.
A motion, Commissioner Nettleton. Do I have a second? Second, Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? 5-0 vote. Motion carries. Item 27, discussion possible action on selecting a professional service provider from RFP 22.05 evaluation scoring sheet provided.
Again, we only received one proposal. That was from Equity CDC, Rob Stevenson.
Motion to approve equity CDC.
Motion, Commissioner Nettleton. Second.
Second, Judge.
Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? 5-0 vote. Item 28, approval to formally request a qualification proposal for environmental compliance for Valverde County's target range planning project and to appoint a selection committee.
We're going out for request, motion to go out for request for proposal for environment and to appoint, Carl, Tom, Carlos. Should be enough, right?
And what do you want to do? Do what?
No, I'm asking the commission. Do you want to be part of the committee? It's in your precinct. Yes or no?
Okay. There was a motion, Carl, Tom, Carlos, the committee. I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, do I hear a second? Commissioner Vasquez, all those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? 5-0 vote. Item 29, discussion
Judge.
possible.
Excuse me, are we gonna go through the addendum items? Or the addenda?
As we get, as I went through
Oh,
everything else,
okay.
but, Melissa, if you want me to, I will go through your agenda.
Well,
items.
if you want
Would
to.
that be okay?
You don't have to.
Well, no, I didn't want to, but you brought it up, so we're gonna do it now. On the addenda items, item number 2, discussion of possible action to award or reject bid 22.01 for the renovation of the airfield lighting vault at Laughlin Air Force Base. The renovation project is funded from the Texas Military Preparedness Commission through the Defense Economic Adjustment Assistance Grant.
So this one, we got one bid in. It did come in under budget at $2,092,877.92.
And
The
this
company is Heed Inc.
And this money,
Heed.
is all grant money.
Yep.
That we've already received, or been awarded.
Motion to award contract to Heed.
Heed.
I have a
I'll
motion.
second that.
Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? 5-0 vote. Item 3. Since Melissa wants me to go through her stuff. Discussion possible action to authorize county judge to sign the service agreement and application to establish an account with Lake Ridge Water Systems LP for the installation of a 1-inch meter on Precinct 3's new Long Memorial Park, funding of $3,350 to be expensed from the ARPA's Precinct 3 Park line item budget.
Motion to approve.
Second. Motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Wardlaw. Everybody in favor? Aye. Anybody against? 5-0 vote. Item 4, approval to upgrade the library security system radio equipment on our current contract for a one-time service fee of $299 to be paid from building maintenance budget. AT&T towers have been upgraded to 5G connectivity, and the radio of this location is affected because it runs on 2G or 3G.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion, Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? 5-0 vote. It passes. Item 5, request. Yes.
What does this do? This, what we just approved?
The radio, it's,
So some of the technology that reports back to the security services is no longer supported with the introduction of 5G towers. So we have to upgrade them in order for them to report back correctly.
When AT&T and everybody started doing away with anything less than 3G, even some of the buttons that the elderly use that for following that can't get up, even that won't work. Even a bunch of that won't work. So because of the upgrades, you're having to upgrade on.
Yes, sir.
Basically, they should get you more money.
You know what I'm getting at is cell phone service extension in the county. How do we get that?
go ahead.
Well, I mean, I know that we've talked about it, about doing the ARPA deals. This right here, the cell phone extension service on the outlying county would have nothing to do with this. The reason that we're having to spend this money here is because the upgrades that AT&T, Verizon, and everybody are doing.
Yeah, this only affects the library specifically.
I took the AT&T, I took the chance to say, for discussion on this,
That's going outside the scope of this item, so we can't go into that discussion.
I knew that.
Commissioner Wardlaw, as much as I'd like to talk about it.
Said I really would like to talk about it.
Our county attorney has just informed us that.
All right, I get it.
Okay.
I'll help you word the agenda item for.
Thank you.
David, I owe you a steak dinner. Item 5, we already took a vote on item 4. Item 5, requesting authorization to upgrade one cellular device to iPhone 12 at no cost to the county and to update our FirstNet plan pricing to coincide with the new pricing through the State of Texas contract PIR-TSO-3420. New plan pricing will have a savings effect.
Second. Judge, it's all of our cellular iPhones, not one. You said one cellular device, it's all of our cellular devices.
Okay, so
Okay,
all of them.
all of them.
Okay, I stand corrected again. We're not letting you talk no more. Thank you, Melissa. Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton. Second. Commissioner Vasquez, all those in favor? Aye. Anybody against?
Let's just say I'm
Upgrading
awake
all our
today.
cellular devices. Nobody, it passes 5-0. All right, let's get back to it. Okay, item 29, discussion possible action on amendment to lease, J. Gonzalez event previously approved, January 18, 2022. Mr. Gonzalez is requesting his event name change to KDOK, First Annual GBC, Fest. Motion, Commissioner Wardlaw. Second, Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? 5-0 vote. Motion carries. Item 30, discussion possible action on the use of fields for practice prime request Esteban Flores, Little League Patriots. Mr. Flores would like to request field number 4 out of the 60 acres next to Walmart, Monday through Thursday from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m., beginning as soon as possible. The request was made on 2/18/22.
Motion.
Second. Motion, Commissioner Wardlaw, second, Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? None. Motion carries. 5-0 vote. Item 31, discussing possible action on amendment to field use request, Ralph, Madera, Babe Ruth League. Mr. Madera would like his days changed to Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, 5:30 to 7:30, 60 acre fields number 1. 60 acres next to Walmart. Original request submitted to Commissioners Court, 2/15/2022. Request for changes made on 2022-20.
Motion.
All right. Have a motion, Commissioner Wardlaw. Have a second? Second. Second, Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries. 5-0 vote. Item 32, discussion possible action regarding 10 and concrete blocks located at the county fairgrounds as they are counted and ready for pickup. What do we do?
Hey, Judge, it's all split out, it's all counted, it's all on record how much each precinct gets, and it's stacked out there. And I just request that each precinct pick it up, or if they don't want to pick it up, they forfeit to another precinct.
Your motion is for it to be split, I guess, the 4 ways?
Yes, sir.
And it's all equal amounts?
Yes, sir.
And you have a count, just for clarification, like you just said. We have a count of all the 10, we have a count of the blocks, and your motion is to be split 4 ways.
Or if it's not picked up soon, be
Then give it to somebody else.
Right. We need a time limit on this, Judge.
It's up to you, Commissioner. You have an event coming up.
Commissioners, how long the time?
You have an event coming up in 2 months, so it'd be nice if it was gone before.
Couple of weeks.
30 days. Picked up within 30 days, or it will be forfeited. Don't laugh at me.
Okay. Your motion, split 4 ways, picked up within 30 days as of today.
Yes, sir.
Have a motion, Commissioner Wardlaw. Do I have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Vasquez.
Question. Do we not need to declare this surplus first? Send the inventory to purchasing so that we can divide it equally, or however they decide to divide it?
I don't know that it has to be declared surplus. You declare it surplus if you're gonna sell it.
Well, no, because under surplus, you can give it to other precincts, you can do whatever. Where's the inventory?
correct.
Yes,
Yes, you're right, Madam Commissioner.
that's all right. With that title and $1.50, I can get a cup of coffee at Rush.
Well, they, with the title, they give it to you free.
If Commissioner Wardlaw would just amend or change
And then provide purchasing with the inventory.
With the inventory, and then we
to
will.
be disseminated.
Okay. Let's do this. Commissioner Wardlaw, would you rescind your motion and we start all over?
All right. I'll add that addendum to it, and,
Basically, the motion would be to declare the surplus, assign it to purchasing.
So why don't we do away with the first one and then start a new one, that way we're not messing it up. Would you be okay with that?
that'd be fine.
Commissioner Vasquez? Okay, so let's start with this new motion.
So the
It
new
needs to
motion,
be,
Commissioner Wardlaw, would be to declare the surplus, assign it to purchasing, who would then divide it up equally between the 4 precincts. Has to be picked up within 30 days. If a precinct chooses not to pick up their designated amount, they will forfeit it, or they can assign it to another precinct.
Okay, so how is it assigned to purchasing? How do we do that?
you just did.
With this
it.
motion.
We just did it.
Now, if you say all that, we'll be okay.
I make the motion.
No, you gotta say it.
If I say all
You're
that,
just gonna say motion?
I can't.
You have to say motion?
Motion.
Okay. I enjoy aggravating when they laugh, and I don't enjoy aggravating when they don't laugh. Did you laugh? You're okay.
I'm
You made the
laughing.
motion.
I'm laughing.
Commissioner Vasquez, do you accept all of
Second.
that?
I sure do.
Okay. Commissioner Wardlaw made a motion, Commissioner Vasquez, seconded it. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? 5-0 vote. Melissa, good luck. Item 33, discussion of possible approval to purchase. Now, me and Ram went over this. Discussion of possible approval to purchase 2 displays. The displays, are TVs. So he's calling them displays, but they're TVs with wall mounts for Commissioner's courtroom to project the meeting for the attending audience and an on-air light to notify audience that meeting is being recorded. Funds to be taken from available appropriation. What this is he wants to put, or we talked about this TV here, the people that are sitting out there, they can't see the presentations and can't see what we're looking at as a court. So I asked him to put something on in order to put 2 displays, back there in the back, so the audience or whoever's here would be able to see what we look at. The other thing was that he thought it would be nice if we had a little light back there that says that we're being recorded. That way we know when to stop talking before the commissioners, before we go into commissioners.
We don't have a cost for this?
Cost, sir?
Cost, sure. Yes, because
We have an estimated cost, of $560.
Well, for everything.
Yes, the mounts.
that item would have looked good with that dollar amount in it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We should be good. The
Motion to
additional
approve,
improve,
take out of, don't we have some, we don't have IT funding or something?
not in computer maintenance,
What about the broadband out of the ARPA?
the CRP.
You have money out of, capital outlay that we keep hitting pretty often, the money that we set aside for the sheriff.
Software, the software line.
It's in capital expenditures,
Let's take it out of the capital expenditures.
I'll second that, Judge.
to a tune of 560, is that what you said? That was 560, is what you
Yes,
said?
560.
I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, somebody's buzzing. Second, Commissioner Vasquez, all those in favor? Aye, anybody against? 5-0 vote, motion carries. Item 34, presentation, on the full exemption racial profiling report, from, Constable Precinct 2. No, he's not here. It's, the thing isn't in your is in your package.
Basically, in summary, Commissioners, and Judge,
every law enforcement agency has to prepare a racial profiling report if they make traffic stops. I think the Constable Reyes has indicated in his report is that he does not make traffic stops, therefore he qualifies for the exemption.
And we don't need, it's just information.
That's right.
Are y'all have any questions on that? We're good? All right. Item 35, discussion possible action authorizing Sheriff Joe Frank Martinez to transfer $1,000 from the Settlement Fund Travel and Training and $737 from the Settlement Fund Capital Outlay line item to the Settlement Fund Operating line item. Second. Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0 vote. Item 36, discussion possible action on purchasing new high-power radios with sector antennas to reestablish communications between the Sheriff's Office and Animal Control. This equipment made necessary due to the commercial wireless installation in the vicinity of the Animal Control. Funding to be taken from software programs budget line item.
Second.
A motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? 5-0 vote. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 37, discussion and approval authorizing judge to sign TAC fiber training for 2022 year as required by Texas House Bill 3834.
Good morning.
Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Vasquez. Ms. Juanita.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. One thing that I'd like to inform the court, any department that's got grants, the cyber training is very important to your grants. So a lot of times we have department heads trying to get the information at the end of the training, which is kind of difficult because I just get a number. So it's really important to print out your certificates when everybody's done with their training, especially for your grant purposes. Okay?
What do you want?
No, print your certificates when you're done with your training.
Okay. That'll work. Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? 5-0 vote. Item 38, approving human resource report from February 16, 2022 through March 4, 2022.
The one for district attorney.
I have that change, Commissioner. Item I. That one should read, Susan West, District Attorney, requesting the issuance of checks to Amanda Pohl, BPU Operation Lone Star Assistant DA, with a salary of $118,000 effective March 4, 2022. Ms. Pohl is filling in a new position.
And where's the money? It's coming out of the grant or where's it coming from?
Yeah, it's coming out of the Lone Star for District Attorney.
It's all paid out of it.
It is.
They got an additional grant for 3 additional positions, an attorney, an investigator, and an assistant.
And we created those positions in the budget?
That those
We
salaries?
created, yeah.
Motion.
I'm gonna do this a little different. I wanna make a motion to approve everything except A.
Except A?
A.
Everything except what, Mr. Bo?
A. Like we do that one second.
Okay. I have a motion to approve everything except A by Commissioner Nettleton. Do I have a second? Nope. Motion fails. Do I have another motion on item 38?
Motion to approve, item 38, everything included in it.
Okay, I have a motion, Commissioner Flores. Second?
Second.
I have a motion, Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? Aye. All those against?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-1 vote. Mr. Nelson votes against it. Where we at? Item 39, closed session consultation pursuant to Texas Government Code A 551.071, parentheses 2, attorney-client privilege, B 551.071, parentheses 1, parentheses 8, contemplated litigation, C 551.072 regarding the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property and possible action in open session thereafter, D 551.073 regarding a negotiated contract, lease, and or value of real property and possible action in open session thereafter. Folks, we're gonna take a little 5-minute break, and if y'all will please give us the room. And thank you for everybody. One is more, one is more. Yeah, Gus is back.
No, try to be quiet,
Quiet. Okay. Commissioner Sport is back in session. We're gonna go to the agenda. Item one, discussion of possible action on setting a time and date for Commissioner Sport meeting at the Civic Center to hear citizens' comments on sports complex and the use of county fairgrounds. The day that we were given was March 21st was the earliest that we could have something at the Civic Center. So I don't know if that's okay with y'all.
Let's look it up on the calendar here real quick.
Okay.
Motion, Judge.
You sure? Hold on.
Well,
Okay, you got one. I mean,
so I have a motion, 6 o'clock, be all right with y'all? In the afternoon?
that'd be fine.
Motion for the 21st of March at 6 o'clock.
It's on what?
Yeah, it's a Monday. It's a good day.
And then I'll have Yulisa, set that. I have a motion, Commissioner Wardlaw, Nettleton. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody against? None, motion carries, 5-0 votes. We had, David, I didn't miss anything else, right? That was it? Okay. Commissioners' comments?
The table.
No commissioners' comments? No. County judges' comments, first of all, I want to thank everybody that came out and voted. Voter turnout was extremely low. I think, two commissioners that are on the court today, won their primaries. Congratulations to y'all. And again, to individuals that came out and voted, thank y'all, on both parties, Republican and the Democratic Party. Everybody came out and voted. Exercise the right to vote. Don't forget to do it again in November. Again, congratulations to commissioners that won. So everything looks like the stars are aligning, I guess, or whatever they want to call it. But either way, again, thank you for everybody who voted. Congratulations, commissioners. I have nothing else. Y'all have anything? We're good. I was made fun of a lot today, not only by Melissa, but Commissioner Flooded, so everything's good. All right, Martin, God bless you. And meeting's adjourned. Thank y'all.